Component number 7, the final and most important one, is accountability. We all need accountability because we're all human and we'll fall off. I shared in the previous section, like the caveman DNA, our human DNA is we slack off, right? We're the modern day caveman is the one who comes home, just sits down and watches TV. We're human. We're going to fall off. Every person I know, they can never stay consistent all the time. That's why we need accountability. Now, when it comes to accountability, the frequency is more important than the duration. How often you talk to someone is more important than how long. So what I mean by that is, if you talk to someone, it's like daily accountability, and you talk to them for 30 minutes today, chances are you don't want to talk to them or have nothing to say tomorrow. It's way better to just talk for 5 minutes, a daily check-in, or could be even a text message, quick check-in, instead of talking for a long time and not talk for a couple of days. Right? A lot of times I see that happen to a lot of leaders where they talk to a downline, they spend a lot of time talking to them, but that's good, but then the motivation doesn't last. And it's the second, third, fourth day after their long call when maybe someone gets a rejection. That's when they need accountability. And in fact, they've done studies where most distributors in network marketing, most network marketers, they quit within 72 hours after their first rejection. So if someone's excited, brand new, they talk to their best friend and the best friend says no, they're mentally quit in the first 72 hours. So you have 72 hours to get them motivated, make sure they stay on track, stay accountable. Otherwise, they're never going to do the business. And even they may show up for trainings, they don't actually quit, but mentally, they've given up on themselves. So the frequency of accountability is super, super important. Now, where to find accountability partners? There's everywhere. Okay, you can find them, your upline, obviously, crossline, very important. That's something that really helped me out when I first started. There's two people, Lynn and Anthony, they were crossline to me. They were at the same level I was. I think that was important too. My upline was way more, my mentor, my upline was way more successful than I was. So I felt that sometimes you couldn't relate to my pains and struggles. And Lynn and Anthony were at the same level. And we will vent. And venting is important sometimes. Just sharing what's going on. And they were a big part of my success. At that time, I was stuck at $50 to $100 a month, and we each support each other and help each other grow. So Crossline is also another good place. The key to finding, and also you can hire a coach and get help. Okay, that's, if you don't have anyone upline, crossline to help you, go get help. You can always hire help. That's something I've done. In my journey, I found out at one point I outgrew, at certain parts of the business, I outgrew my mentors. I had to go and hire help. So when you find an accountability partner, the key is to provide value, right? Everyone is busy. They don't want just to be accountability partners so you can suck up their time. Provide value. How do you provide value? Take something you've learned, take something you read or you heard about or something you experienced and share with them so they get better. Provide value. So here's a good format for accountability call. Share something you've learned. Always provide value. Second is share what have you done since the last call. Maybe you did 3 reach outs. Maybe you did 1 presentation. Maybe you met 7 new prospects. Share what you've done. And then the third thing is ask for help if you need it. Ask for help. If you're stuck or anything, or you need advice or feedback, ask for help. And generally, when you follow this format, you would also bring up that, hey, what do you plan to do that day before the next call, right? What you plan to do before the next call. That would naturally happen. But I think a lot of times accountability, people just focus on that and don't focus on these things. They just say, oh, I'm going to do this by the next time we talk. But what actually have you done? Right? And also, if you focus on value, share something you've learned, you will naturally be in the right direction and stay more consistent. You actually be that leader that people want to join. Be that person that people want to be accountability partners with. Another type of accountability is get plugged into a community. Community is very important. Get plugged into your team. Get plugged into your company. Very important, right? Super, super important. There's a saying, when you're away from the campfire, things get cold, right? The fire starts dying when you're away from the campfire. You got to stay warm. You got to be close to the fire. That's why you got to go to events. You got to be plugged into what you're doing. I know even if you're on a tight budget, you can't afford to go. You can't afford not to go. You got to be plugged into your team. Now, if you're looking for a community outside of what you have, your company, your team, I highly recommend you to be a part of Purpose-Driven Networkers. These are purpose-driven networkers. That's exactly what it says. This is a group that I am proud leader of, where I lead and help people stay consistent and get results. And we have a 5-step plan to help you get your next customer. If you're interested in that, message me. I'll share you more details. Also, if you're looking for really intense one-on-one accountability, you can apply to my one-on-one coaching program. Okay, one-on-one coaching, it is intense. If you're the type that makes excuses or like to wimp out, then this is not for you. But if you're really serious and you're coachable, willing to step outside your comfort zone, this will be one of the best investments you make in your life.